Moonhigh podcast. I am Sorrel Hart. I am here with Owlfoot.
Yo.
And today we are talking about Sunrise, the sixth book and last in Power of Three. Juicy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Before we start, I would like to talk about my theories for J Feather and Three's parents.
Your theories.
Yeah,
You already know this.
yeah, I know, but like whenever I read the books,
Oh, okay.
my theories. One theory I had was Mothwing and um, whoever the cat in the snow was. um, I don't know. Um, Mothwing and like
Some rando.
yeah, someone from Firestar's family. Like uh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like I attached onto the fact that Princess was Firestar's sibling, and I think maybe I said like someone related to Cloudtail, more closely related to Cloudtail. I don't know who I said could be like Mothwing's mate, or I think I said it was Mothwing's kits, but her mates wasn't anyone um, related to Firestar because technically her half sibling is Brambleclaw, who is related to Firestar through Squirrelflight.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You were
They're
like,
mates.
Mothwing is somehow connected to Firestar.
Yeah, because Mothwing's half sibling is Brambleclaw, whose mate is Squirrelflight, whose father is Firestar.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were connected in that way. And then I also theoried that it was Leafpool, because
Yeah.
and I was right on that one. And I said I was leaning more towards Leafpool. And
Okay. Yay. Whew. Close call. Okay. Your theory and lethal, and then you were right, right?
yes, I was right.
I do not recall having any theories. I think I just was like reading on to see who it was, and I didn't really make up. I didn't really think about who it could be. I was just
Yeah, well, you and Snow kept pestering me about who was my theories. So I had to come up with
I
some.
do not recall that. You were like, "Excuse me, I think it's this," and I was like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm."
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong. I can remember like the strangest things, and then some things it's just like completely lost.
Yeah, I mean, I was like curious to know what you thought, but I wasn't like constantly asking you. You also were very eager to say your thoughts to me.
Yeah,
So
because it's exciting stuff.
yeah.
So, Leafpool and Jayfeather are first seen repeating a long-used ritual to send Ashfur to Starkland. While Leafpool
Why?
While Leafpool is reciting it, she discovers a tuft of fur in Ashfur's claws. This scares her, as it's the fur of a cat she knows. She tries to convince herself it came from one of the cats that brought Ashfur back to camp, but Ashfur's claws wouldn't be strong enough to tear fur out from a carrier. His claws would only flex, but not tear the fur out. Leafpool, in a lot of pain and shock, then wonders if it's her fault he's dead. Meanwhile, in
Well,
Starkland,
it is.
Yellowfang starts fighting with Bluestar, saying that uh, that the secret that they kept buried for so long is eating away at ThunderClan. Yellowfang comments that Jayfeather, Hollyleaf, and Lionblaze might not even be free, but Bluestar objects. Yellowfang then mentions that Bluestar may have destroyed the clan she loved so much with her lies.
Oh snap! Oh, so when all the StarClan stuff is happening, that must have been interesting for you because you like knew who a lot of these cats were,
Mm-hmm.
like Blue Star and all them. When StarClan stuff happened, I was kind of bored because I was like, I don't know who these people are, and I don't care.
Yeah, well, I was really interested because I loved the characters and I wanted to see more of them, but they were dead, and
Yeah,
so.
Blue Star. Like when Blue Star came up, you must have been like, oh my god, Blue Star. I was not like that. I was like,
But it's not
snooze.
like
I don't
she
care
is able
anymore.
to affect the clans very much. She's just in their dreams, and she's not even in it that much. It's more so Yellowfang and all the
Yeah,
other ones.
yeah, like the medicine cats come
Yeah, the
into it a
medicine
lot
cats.
because they're talking to other medicine cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I remember like Berry Nose. No, not Berry Nose. Not Berry Nose. Um, like Brambleberry. That's it. Brambleberry with a strikingly pink nose, as we talked about in our Medicine Cats and Herbs episode, the Moonhigh Medicine Mega episode.
Mhm.
um, in that episode, we talked about Brambleberry, which was in this one scene with Jay Feather, trying to tell Jay Feather what to do. The story then shifts to Lion Blaze, who's in the dark forest fighting Tiger Star. He attacks Tiger Star, wounding him. Tiger Star shows fear in his eyes, only for a slight moment, and then says to Lion Blaze that he would never be brave enough to kill him. Lion Blaze steps away, saying that the shadowy cat is
He's
already
already
dead.
dead. Yeah.
Back in ThunderClan, many cats are discussing Ashfur's murder. Thornclaw, Spiderleg, and a few other cats think that a Wind the Clan cat and killed him. Thornclaw plans an ambush on WindClan only to be interrupted by Brambleclaw. After Thornclaw's group was split up, Brambleclaw questions Lionblaze since he was Ashfur's last apprentice, and Lionblaze answers that he knows nothing about Ashfur's murder since he and Ashfur were never very close. Swirltail comments on how much Brambleclaw is concerned about Lionblaze, causing him to protest in his mind that Brambleclaw is not his father.
Wait, what?
Swirltail comments on how much Brambleclaw is concerned about Lionblaze, causing him to protest in his mind that Brambleclaw is not his father.
In his mind, so he didn't actually say it, though.
Nope.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know. There's wording that's so confusingly. Why would they do that? Especially whenever you're just listening to it and not actually seeing it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Firestar then sends a patrol to WindClan territory to ask if they know anything about Ashfur's murder. They are spotted on the border of their territory, and WindClans by a patrol. After talking for a moment, Firestar's patrol is then escorted to the WindClan camp. While there, Lionblaze sees that Breezepelt, Crowfeather's obnoxious son, and Heathertail, Lionblaze's old friend, that he secretly met within the tunnels, are extremely close, leading to the possibility that they could be closer than friends. After One Star says that WindClan had nothing to do with ThunderClan,
I remember that too. The Heathertail and whatever.
Breezepelt?
Yeah, Breezepelt and Heathertail.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that they most definitely were closer than just friends. I remember that because Lionblaze is all jealous and such. If I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a little snot then too, rubbing it in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have a question totally unrelated to this book right here, but
Yes.
it's for later books. If Heathertail and Breezepelt are mates, then later on when Breezepelt is almost sort of kind of not a villain, how does Heathertail react?
I don't know. They never talked about it, I don't think.
I'm interested now.
I am too.
Okay, anyway, you can back to whatever book we're on.
I
Sunrise.
thought you were going to ask about their kids or something.
No.
Because I
I'm
don't
just
even
curious
know
how
if they
she
have
would
kids.
react to him being almost evil. Like, I assume they broke up because if she was still with the clan and he was working with the Dark Forest, or did she go to the Dark Forest with him? I'm interested now.
Yes. After One Star says that WindClan had nothing to do with the ThunderClan warrior's murder, he asks a patrol of cats, Ashfoot, the deputy of WindClan, and Breezepelt among them. And what? When they reach the end of WindClan's territory, Ashfoot, the deputy of WindClan, oh, I already said that, tells the patrol of ThunderClan cats that she has sighted Soul near the location of Ashfur's dead body. And this leads
Oh my gosh.
to the thought that Soul killed Ashfur.
No.
No. When Firestar's patrol returns to their camp, he holds a clan meeting to inform the rest of the clan as to what they learned from Ashfoot. It's noted that Thornclaw's group was more reluctant to the idea that a rogue killed Ashfur instead of another warrior, and the theory that WindClan killed Ashfur is forgotten. As Firestar ends the meeting, Hollyleaf reveals that she ran into Soul before he left the lake territory, and he said that he'll be back and the clan takes Soul's last words to her as a threat. With this information, Firestar decides to send a patrol to the Sundrown Place to search for Soul. The cats chosen are Birchfog, Brambleclaw, Brackenfur, Hazeltail, Hollyleaf, and Lineblaze. As they depart the lake area, Brambleclaw decides to make a quick stop to see Smokey and Floss, the two cats who live in the horse place. This is where he introduces Smokey to his daughter Hazeltail. The two bond for a brief moment, and then the patrol leaves. On the way, the travelers run into some dogs and are saved by a she-cat named Jingo. I remember these cats. She brings them to a group of cats that once sheltered Soul, and the cats seem to hate Soul. They learn about how Soul has controlled these cats just like he did with ShadowClan. Soon after they leave, they run into Purdy and Soul, and bring both back to ThunderClan for questioning. Lime blazes on the flat rocks with Honeyfern and Berrynose. Millie and Graystrip's kits, Bumblecit, Blossomkit, and Briarkit are playing on the rocks until a poisonous snake appears behind Briarkit. Honeyfern jumps and pushes Briarkit out of the way, but in the process, she is bitten by the snake. And all Leafpool does is stare at Honeyfern's littermate Cinderheart. Swirltail, Honeyfern's mother, asks Leafpool why wasn't she doing anything, but Leafpool says that the poison already took hold of Honeyfern and she can't do anything. She soon dies, devastating
Oh my
Berrynose as
god.
well as Honeyfern's family. Jay Feather, on the other hand, tries to figure out the mystery herb that Leafpool mixed in with Mousefur's tansy at the time of his birth. He later brushes against it, and Little Cloud tells him it's parsley, used for stopping milk in nursing queens if their kids die. Jay Feather then realizes his real mother must have had to take it to stop her milk. He then realizes that his mother is lethal, and she confirms this, telling Hollyleaf as well. When she talks with her, she also reveals that Hollyleaf was Ashfur's killer. The three ask Soul about the prophecy and their real father until Yellowfang comes to Jayfeather in a dream and brings him a crow's feather, revealing that their father was Crowfeather WindClan. Hollyleaf, the one with the strongest faith in the code, is shattered. Jayfeather gets back to camp
As
and
a murderer, her faith in the code really shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Jayfeather gets back to camp and helps deliver Whitewing's kits. At the gathering, Hollyleaf reveals the secret of her, Limeblaze, and Jayfeather's parentage. Crowfeather states that his only mate is Nightcloud and his soul kit is Breeze Kit, also saying that Leafpool and their kits mean nothing to him. What Hollyleaf says also makes Brambleclaw upset at Squirrelflight for lying to him and everyone else.
Oh.
They talked about that a lot in Squirrelflight versus Leafpool debate.
Yeah.
Because I was really mad at her during the book. I was defending Brambleclaw with my thoughts because I love Brambleclaw.
I love Brambleclaw too, awesome. But I get why she did it.
Yeah. What Hollyleaf says also makes Brambleclaw upset at Squirrelflight for lying to him and everyone else. When Cinderheart asks Hollyleaf what she'd done, she says she'd done the right thing, but Cinderheart says that there was no right thing and everything to do with it led to more pain, as if channeling Cinderpelt. Hollyleaf then figures that the whole thing was Leafpool's fault. She then stops Leafpool in the medicine den and tries to force her to eat death berries. Oh, I remember this in Leafpool's life story. Leafpool then states that she lost the one cat she loved and her calling is a medicine cat. She then asks which would be easier for Leafpool to die or for her to go on living. Hollyleaf, realizing the answer, lets her mother go and then flees into the forest with Jayfeather and Limeblaze hot on her trail. Hollyleaf then runs into the tunnels, but they collapse, thus possibly trapping her. Jayfeather and Limeblaze are unable to get her out, and her fate is left ambiguous. Now that there are only two, Jayfeather and Limeblaze wonder who the third cat in the prophecy is. Then Whitewing, Cloudtail's daughter, has two kits, and they are given the names Dubkit and Ivykit. Jayfeather realizes that because they are kin of Firestar's kin, that one of them could possibly be the third cat in the prophecy. I remember that. That was very ominous, and I was very excited to move on to Omen of the Stars. Interesting facts. Sunrise was formerly known as Cruel Season. The title was changed because HarperCollins felt that Cruel Season was too dark of a title.
Yeah.
We just had the publisher, I think.
Yeah, HarperCollins. Very popular publisher, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't pay attention to publisher stuff. Mistakes can be found here. Sunrise. Jayfeather doesn't have a description in the allegiances. Oh no, I don't remember that. Because I didn't look at the allegiances, I don't think. I usually look at the allegiances though, because that's pretty interesting. I have to pay attention to it. Whitewing is mistakenly listed as a warrior instead of a queen. Heavy Step is listed in the allegiances despite dying twice already.
Heavy Step again.
Heavy Step died twice and is still listed twice and is still listed in the allegiances.
He's becoming my favorite little guy.
Hmm.
And by little guy, I mean big guy.
Yeah. In the descriptions, it says he is a thick-set tabby-tom, which me and Owlfoot sat in the forest for a while and just trying to figure out what that meant. And then Owlfoot was like, "Oh my gosh, does it mean he's fat?" And
Well, we didn't sit there for a while. I was like, obviously his name came from because he was fat.
yeah, but we were just trying to figure it out, and then we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so mean." um, I thought like maybe it was because of his pattern, because they usually describe him with like a pattern. They usually describe other cats with the pattern on their fur, but not Heavisap apparently. And they didn't give him any description. They just called him a tabby tom, and that was it, which is making me mad. Like you have to know what color tabby they are, which in my head I just always imagined whenever they just describe them as a tabby and nothing else that I always imagined them to be brown, and that was it, a brown tabby tom.
Mm.
Blossom Kit once again has the wrong description in the allegiances. Blossom Kit is like calico, sort of like white and brown with little petal shaped uh, patches on her fur. That's why they called her Blossom Kit.
Oh,
Um, Ashfoot is mistakenly called Ash Fur.
easy mistake.
Yep. Hollyleaf is mistakenly called Polly Paw. Once again, easy mistake. Spotted Leaf is mentioned with green eyes. I thought she did have green eyes. No, she has amber eyes. All right. Um, like in the beginning of it, before I knew what she looked like, I thought she had green eyes. But then in my head, it changed to amber eyes, and it switched back and forth a lot. I think. Um, Brackenfur is once again described as ginger, which is I thought what he was all along, but like dark ginger. Um, Tornier is called Turnier. Gray is mistakenly spelled as gray, which is gray with an A, and gray is mistakenly spelled as gray with an E. Gray Strip's eyes are mistakenly called amber. Oh, yeah, they're yellow. But I thought you would call that amber. Okay.
No, Ember's like,
Orangish.
yeah, brownish orange, I guess.
It's interesting, though, that they wanted to call it Cruel Season.
Yeah. Why do they call it Sunrise?
I don't know.
That's like the total opposite of Cruel Season. It was like Cruel Season is like a scary, dark name, and then they're like, "Oh, that's too dark," so they're like, "Okay, let's call it Sunrise." Like that's like, oh, sunrise, happy things.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think they were trying to reflect what they did with the titles in the new prophecy. Like, oh my gosh, they were struggling with everything in that in that series. The titles, the plots, everything. They just called the titles time of day, which is kind of cool, I guess, because they were sticking with a theme there. But like what they had left, they threw on books they couldn't come up with a title for, except for Dark River. That was like pretty. The authors said it was difficult to come up with a title for that, which in the end they called it Dark River.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Tunnels
So for this one, they just threw it on as Sunrise instead of Sunset, which is the sixth book of the second series, and this is the sixth book of the third series.
So you're saying the title didn't mean much in this book?
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
But in the last book, it referenced the title a couple times, and
What would make a good title in this one, in your opinion? Can you come up
hmm,
with one right now?
I'm gonna see if I can. Maybe in like the next series or season that we do here,
Okay.
I will have it by then. I hope.
Cool. We have time to think on it then.
Oh yeah, Twitter, Discord, Warrior Cats Podcast Community Discord. But I was thinking of the title, and I just maybe parsley, because like that was a pretty key detail.
Oh, the like medicine.
Yeah, the medicine type. That would be interesting. I would love to have a book called Parsley.
Yeah, but there's never been one named after a plant before.
Yeah,
So that would be weird.
Hmm. Yeah, I know, but it would be interesting. And
Yeah,
they'd
I
be like,
guess.
why is this called parsley? And then they figure it out by reading. But you can help me come up with a title. Please do that.
Yeah, help us come up with a better title for Sunrise.
Okay, so the warriors beneath the moon are calling, and it's time for us to go.
Bye.
Bye.